Call to the booth. Aqib Talib here. We're coming off a tough 2 weeks. Bounce back game for the Broncos. No Jon Gruden. Paul, drop that beat.
The Broncos were undefeated in the month of September, have not gotten a win in October. Hopefully that changes this week with the Las Vegas Raiders in town. I'm Harrison Sanford. That's Aqib Talib. When you see Aqib, you not only come here for your analysts for each week, but you also come here to reflect on Super Bowl 50. And for listeners of this podcast and listeners of this podcast only, we are going to do a subscribe, rate, and review contest. All you have to do is subscribe to us on YouTube, subscribe to us on podcast, any podcast app that you use. Send us screenshots to our Call to the Booth email address, and you have the opportunity to win an item from Super Bowl 50 or from, in general, a Broncos item that you'd like to get signed by Aqib Talib. We'll have more details as soon as you follow up and give us your email with your screenshots and things of that nature. But Aqib, for the people who are listening, watching, I wonder, what is your favorite piece of memorabilia from Super Bowl 50?
Oh, favorite piece of memorabilia. Got to be the jersey, right? I got the actual game-worn jersey with the patch on it. I feel like that's the livest piece of memorabilia you can have, right? Like, it's better than shoes and all that. You got the actual jersey that you had on in the game with the patch, with the grass stains. I got to say the jersey.
You're not the type to have left the stadium with a piece of dirt, right?
Nah. Jersey or the ring. I mean, you always got the ring, too. You know what I'm saying? It's like a little trophy. So, the jersey or the ring. Got to be the jersey or the ring.
Yeah, leaving the stadium with some dirt in a bag doesn't seem like something you do.
A piece of the bench or something, right? A water bottle from the actual. Nah. Not me.
All right, we're gonna talk about that Las Vegas Raiders matchup and everything that's happening with the Las Vegas Raiders in our next segment. But first, we got to go back and look at what happened in Game 5. Broncos had a furious comeback in the end, but for the most part, were pretty much out of it the entirety of the game. That offense was just not moving well at all. Aqib, as you watch the game, give us a diagnosis of what you were seeing on the field.
Man, to be honest, I'm going to be honest, man. For the last 2 weeks, Ravens and Steelers, that's a physical black and blue division, right? Well, they came out here and out-physicaled us. They hit us. We had guys dropping against the Ravens with broke ribs and, you know what I'm saying? Guys, a lot of hit sticking going on for those other teams. Now, I was watching the game, and there was one point in the game where Kareem Jackson came, bam, he hit Juju. Juju kind of came up out of it, right? It was on the Steelers sideline. They kind of talked a little noise. Melvin Ingram kind of talked a little noise to Kareem Jackson. About 3 plays later, Kareem Jackson came and hit Juju again. Bam! And that's the hit that dropped Juju out for the rest of the season, right? So I thought that was the turning point. He came and hit him. I jumped up out my seat. Let's go! Let's go, Kareem. I was turned up, right? I thought, like, we was getting out physical. And at that point, bam, that was going to be the turning point. But that one hit came, and then it was right back to them more out physical in us. So, hey, the dogs got to show up, man. The dogs got to come to play. And that's when your dogs come in. When teams think they playing physical, your dogs come in and they kind of match it, right? The dogs got to show up, man. We need some dogs got to come play.
As you alluded to last week, and as we talked about last week, no participation grade, so no Bronco of the week. Real quick on this AFC West, the Chargers won again. Chiefs lost again. But the Broncos seem like they're out. As you evaluate the division, Aqib, are you automatically ruling out the Raiders now? Is it just pretty much they still have to beat the Raiders, but the Chiefs and Chargers looking like the cream of the crop in that division? Am I right?
Yeah, definitely. Chargers and the Chiefs in the lead. The Broncos not done yet. They still got a chance, man. They got to win some of these division games, but I think the Raiders out of there, man. So definitely gonna have to catch the Chargers and the Chiefs.
In order to get the Raiders out of there, outside of their coach being gone, they're going to have to beat them in Week 6. And that's the matchup we'll talk about next. That's Aqib Talib. I'm Harrison Sanford. Stick with us right here on Call to the Booth. We'll break down that matchup. You got to see the full scope of everything that he had emailed Bruce Allen, somebody that you know as well, because he was the general manager of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when you got drafted there. I'm sure you probably felt the same way. The NFL had to get this done.
Me personally, knowing Gruden, man, he's not a racist, man. Gruden just called me maybe a couple months ago, just congratulating me on TV, giving me pointers to help me further my career. He don't have to do that kind of stuff. If you're a racist white guy, you're not calling a young black man to help him along in his life, right? No matter who he is, if you're racist, you're not going to do stuff like that, right? So the racist part, I don't buy it at all, man. I don't buy it not one bit. And as far as how he feel about females, if that's on him, man. I know how I feel about it. I feel like I met women over the last 5 years, especially in this media, and it gave me a whole new respect of women and their knowledge in football. I'm talking to Mina Kimes, and I'm like, oh my God, like she know a lot. She know a whole lot in sports, right? So it gave me a new outlook in it. So you live and you learn. The emails was 8 years ago. Maybe by this point, he learned more about females. Maybe a female ref called his game, and now he really can respect the female because she did a great job, right? So
what do you think happens for them going forward? It could be, I'd say it'd get a lot worse if they were 0-5,
yeah.
but they're
Yeah.
not. They're 3-2, so there's still something there. How do you think this pushes them forward? What do you think happens in the aftermath of this?
Well, I don't think you don't shake back from losing your sole leader like that, man. That's like losing a quarterback out for the season. Your head coach gone. He is the tempo of that building. You know what I'm saying? Now, don't get me wrong. Rich, I played for Rich too. He was a great coordinator. He's a great leader as well. And this won't be his first time interning as a head coach. So, man, he done did this before, right? And he a great leader. But just to switch the tone of the building mid-season like that is never good, man. I don't think it ever works. They out of there, man. The Raiders is out of there. They're finished cool. It won't be enough to make the playoffs. Division 2 tough, man, and it's just hard to fight back from losing your leader like that.
The Broncos had issues with Mark Andrews 2 weeks ago. Could have some issues with Darren Waller and the Las Vegas Raiders this upcoming week in Week 6. Kareem Jackson, Justin Simmons, two guys who are going to be needed in this matchup in Week 6. But before we even break down and look at the scouting report, Aqib, we just have to talk about Jon Gruden no longer being the head coach. I think for the Denver Broncos, this is a ideal opportunity to kind of hit a team when they're down and really take advantage of the maybe lack of morale in that Las Vegas Raiders locker room.
Definitely the perfect shake back game for the Broncos, man. You're going against a team who just lost their leader, and they on the road too, right? It's the Broncos at home, right?
Broncos are at home.
So, yeah, they lost their leader. You coming back home. So, man, it's a perfect situation for you. But you still got to go play the game. You still got to prepare and get the job done.
Speaking of playing the game, past 2 weeks, Broncos haven't been too good on the offensive line. We saw Teddy Bridgewater under pressure last week in Pittsburgh at Heinz Field. They got Max Crosby this week, and you also got Casey Hayward as a defensive back for those Las Vegas Raiders, who could be on Tim Patrick. He could be on Courtland Sutton. Interesting matchup to watch as you break down what the offense can do against this Las Vegas Raiders. I assume you're thinking more Javonte Williams, who's looked strong, and Melvin Gordon will help this offense generate more points than it did last week.
Gotta start with those guys, man. You getting that interior of your line back. Gotta start with the run game, man. The pass game is so much better when the Broncos is running the football. So get those guys going early, and then that'll open up everything else.
So when they did that matchup against the Ravens, you said, well, it was the first time they saw Lamar Jackson, and that kind of helped Mark Andrews have a Mark Andrews-like performance. And we saw what he did on Monday Night Football too as well. Now they have more familiarity with the Las Vegas Raiders, have more familiarity with Darren Waller. What can they take away from those matchups, the matchup against Mark Andrews in Week 4, to have a good matchup against one of the top tight ends in the NFL?
Well, don't look at that Ravens tape. You want to seal that up, bury that, put it somewhere. You don't want to watch that because you don't want to do nothing that y'all did against Andrews. You don't want to do that against Waller. So bring out some of the tapes from last year against Waller, man. I think they played them pretty good last year. At least you know how the Raiders want to use them. So The Broncos pretty much stay within their defense. They're not one of the defense who, like, we come out playing cover 2 and cover 1 against this team and cover 4 and cover 5 against this team. They pretty much stick to what they do. You know what I'm saying? They kind of highlight guys and they may put a guy in a different spot to be around Waller. So, you know what I'm saying? You go to Waller's side, they know how to handle him, man. So keep eyes on them. Stop that run. They'll be all right.
And another matchup that we're going to look here when you look at our A-plus matchup, we talked about Cortland Sutton potentially and Casey Hayward Jr. Another interesting one as well, and I know you probably keep your eye on this guy, Bryce Callahan in the slot against Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah.
Derek Carr loves going to him. Just break down that matchup real quick before we get out of here.
It'll be good. It'll be a good matchup inside. It'll be a lot of carry 3 type situations, but in the man situations, he will end up on Renfrow in the slot. Callahan will end up on Renfrow in the slot, and that's gonna be big on big, man. It's a good slot corner, a good slot receiver. It's gonna be a lot of third downs. It's gonna come third down red zone. He gonna have to stand up and win those matchups.
About to get out of here before we check in for next week. Broncos, a 3-point favorite at home as of now, early in the week. That line might change, especially with Gruden gone, and a 44.5 over/under. What do you got?
I'm riding with the Broncos. Gotta ride with the Broncos at home. Turmoil in Vegas. Pick the Broncos. Pick your paper up.
Pick your paper up with the Broncos. That's according to Aqib Talib. When we come back next week, we'll investigate that answer and look ahead to their Week 7 matchup. That's Aqib Talib. I'm Harrison Sanford. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. You might come up not just with a subscription to our feed and good content, but you might have a prize as well. See you next time.